All right, y'all. Today we're going to talk about um, entanglement of thoughts, infused and strangling thoughts that cause our self-esteem and us to begin to self-sabotage. This is mainly for folks with, negative self-identity, self-doubt, anxiety, depression, people that create, thoughts about themselves that are just negative. How to address negative thinking, automatic negative thoughts. And in the psychological realm, therapeutic realm, we call that ANTS, automatic negative thoughts. So today we're going to talk about a way to kind of get rid of those automatic negative thoughts, right? Or those thoughts that's just kind of fused in our head and can't allow us to think straight. We become anxious. We begin to stress from our environment. Stress is something from the external, like your environment can stress you, triggers and stress you, right? The anxiety is what you feel after being stressed. So stress, and a lot of people think stress and anxiety are the same thing. Stress is external mechanisms that are causing anxiety. Anxiety is internal, stress is external. So today, we just want to talk about narrative therapy, some things I typed out here. With narrative therapy, we can essentially rewrite these stories to find healing, as well as a happily ever after. A big part of overcoming anxiety is to look at the mental models that we use on ways, which mean the ways of how we think about things, right? That's your mental model. Everyone has a different one. But sometimes they lead to the same result, which is anxiousness, distress, that type of thing. And let's consciously make decisions about how we want to run our lives when we are the narrator of our own stories. We take charge, we reframe these thoughts, and are empowered to make new meanings. The big tenet behind narrative therapy is that people are separate from their problems. And indeed, this idea underpins a popular technique called externalization, right? When you can take your problem and externalize it from yourself, then you can begin to look at it without an anxious frame of mind, right? You can actually objectively look at it. Instead of having it inside dealing with you, imagine yourself pulling it out, looking at it, write it down, kind of tear it apart and see what's going on with it, right? Or you can put it away for later, right? When we externalize, we put some problems out there. We put them away from us. When we're not wrong or bad, we're not wrong or bad to have these problems, and we don't judge or blame ourselves from them happening. Nevertheless, we do have the power to take charge of how we view ourselves and how we view our lives. That's important. How you view, remember that, externalize and how you view yourselves and your lives. The mental models that you have are like patterns of repeating cycles. If your life was a movie, what genre would it be? Would it be action? Would it be drama? How are you creating your life with this mental model? What role would you always play? How would the story play itself out? When we can see that our interpretations and frames influence our experience, we are empowered to change them for ourselves. For example, overthinkers tend to feel, powerless. But what if they changed the story and saw themselves as being responsible and capable, right? That's when they start to take charge of their life. That's when they're actually just reframed, when they feel powerless and helpless, right? That's a frame of mind. That's a mental model, right? But then all of a sudden they view themselves as taking charge and being extremely capable of managing or handling this situation. That's called reframing, thought switching, right? That's a part of CBT, cognitive behavior therapy. If you're not familiar with that, go check that out. That's a pretty historical therapeutic model to help people with anxiety, depression, and that type of thing. So let's check out the idea of externalization. You're not the problem, period. You're not the failures, period. If you could put distance between yourself and your life challenges, you probably gain a proper perspective and insight to untangle your sense of identity and self-worth from the temporary moment of mental entanglement. One of the main solutions, always got a solution. One of the main solutions in narrative therapy is visualization and imagery. Visualize all the overthinking as air inside of you, and that you blow it into a giant balloon. Then image the balloon floating up and away from you, getting smaller and smaller and smaller, and really enjoy the sensation of the full potential and identify with your worries, as you put them down sometimes and you can walk away to get a proper perspective. Then imagine the balloon disappearing off into the sunset over the ocean while you're standing on the beach. All your worries and problems are floating away. This is a possibility and a probability that you can create in your own narrative, in your own mind. You can own the sensation of letting these problems slowly drift away instead of critically damaging your self-esteem. And with that, I just want to say all praise to the Most High. Thank you for giving me the wisdom and knowledge and the understanding as well as training to be able to help the community and help people who struggle with these sort of challenges. And with that, I'm going to say peace.